What if the thoughts that you're most afraid of, the worst case scenarios that keep you up at night, could actually become your greatest source of strength? Welcome to your daily hit of grace and grit, your quick dose of inspiration to kickstart your day. This show is proudly sponsored by Rumble and Rise. To find out more about joining Rumble and Rise, head on over to graceandgrit.com/ready to rumble. I'm Courtney Townley, and here is today's hit. It sounds counterintuitive, I know. We're taught to avoid catastrophic thinking, to stay positive, to not go there. But here's what happens when you try to suppress your fears. I think they grow louder. They lurk in the background, draining your energy and keeping you in a spin cycle of stuckness. So instead of avoiding the worst case scenario, I often invite my clients into it. I challenge them to face their fears head on and then add two powerful words: even if. Here's how it works. Take that fear that you've been spinning out about and complete this sentence. Even if, fill in your worst case scenario, I will, what will you do, or who will you be in that scenario? For example, even if I lose my job, I will reach out to my network to help me sort out next steps. So you're still going to be disappointed, of course, if you lose your job. But that even if part reminds you that you still have agency and you still have power, even if your worst case scenario comes true. So a few other examples to help you out with this. Even if I fail at this new routine, I will have learned something about my body. Even if I don't lose weight as fast as I want, I will be stronger and healthier than I am today. Even if people judge me for prioritizing myself, I know I'm doing what's right for my well-being. Even if this takes longer than I hoped, I will keep showing up for myself. This isn't toxic positivity. This isn't pretending that fear doesn't exist. This is something far more powerful. It's acknowledging the possibility of failure or difficulty and deciding that you're going to be okay anyway, that you're going to have your own back anyway. So psychologists call this realistic optimism. You're not denying reality or sugarcoating the challenge. You're simply refusing to let worst-case scenarios have the final say. You're reminding yourself that even in your fear's version of events, you still have a whole lot of agency. You still have resilience. You still have worth. And there is research to back this up. Studies on anxiety show that when people confront their fears directly, rather than avoiding them, the fear loses its power. The amygdala, which we talked about the other day, that threat detection part of your brain, calms down when it realizes the feared outcome isn't actually life-threatening. And here's the beautiful thing. Most of the time, when you complete the even-if statement, you realize the worst-case scenario isn't nearly as catastrophic as your anxiety was making it out to be. You realize that you have more options, more strength, more capacity than you have given yourself credit for. So even if I mess up this new meal plan, I can have a fresh start at the next meal, right? Even if I'm the slowest person in the class that I really want to take, I'm still showing up and getting stronger. This practice really shifts you from victimhood into agent. You are being an agent of your life. You are governing your life. It moves you from helpless to empowered, from what if everything goes wrong to even if it does, I'll handle it. And that shift, that is where courage lives. That's where growth happens. And that's where you stop letting fear make your decisions. So I want you to try this on today. There is inevitably going to be an opportunity for you to go to worst case scenario. Take that worst case scenario that's been whispering in your ear and say it out loud. Even if that thing happens, I will. How will you respond? Write it down. Better yet, write it down many times. Say it out loud many times. And feel how it transforms fear into power. You are capable of handling far more than you think. And the moment you stop running from your fears and start facing them with even if, you start to discover how strong you really are. You start talking yourself into the work rather than out of it. And that is the work. That's how you turn your worst case scenarios into proof of your resilience and your power. If this stirred something inside of you, imagine what a whole book of clarity and courage could ignite. The Consistency Code, a midlife woman's guide to deep health and happiness, goes even deeper into the mindset and practices that create real, meaningful change at midlife. Grab your copy today over at theconsistencycode.com and keep the momentum alive.